No.
Amazing. So let me just tell you this. Look at the time. Billy's going to be yelling at me. Vanity, oh, I don't know how I want to do this now. Let me do this first. So over the weekend, I talked to a couple women who were friends. They've been friends for a long time. And then one of the women decided that she wanted to go a different direction. She wanted to move away, she wanted to do her own thing. And the other woman is staying in her same everything, right? And she's mad at this woman because this woman wanted to make a change. She doesn't want to be texting all the time. She want to go out there and live her own life and do her own thing. And this woman said, well, not this one, but her friend was saying, you're not my friend, I was there for you. I did everything for you. I was like a mother to you. And the other woman said, well, that's the problem. I don't need a mama. I just wanted a friend, but I wanted to be myself. I don't want to be what you want me to be. I don't want to act the way you want me to act. I don't want you to need me, because I can't be all that, right? And they went to a supper of other counselors, and the counselor agreed that, no, you need to be there for her. Let her be herself, but you need to be there for her. She was there for you. You need to be there, make her feel good and all that. And they asked me about it. I'm like, nope. This woman is wrong for trying to get something from you. You don't owe her anything. Friendships and marriageships and ships don't last because because human nature is so evil, human nature is wicked. Human nature is evil, and because of it, you can't even be friends, husband and wife, businessmen, women, unless you want something. You have a hidden agenda. You're not supposed to want anything from anyone because they don't have it to give. And it's never going to satisfy you because it will never be enough and it will never be right. And this is why relationships don't last, whether it's friendship, whatever kind of ship, right? Because you want something. Just think about your own personal life, all the horrible relationships you've been through, all the misery you have experienced because you were trying to get something from somebody else. And then think about the people who treated you in a bad way because you didn't need them anymore, or you didn't agree with them anymore, or you didn't want something. Rather than them walking away, they say, you know what, I wish you well. I understand it. They'll fight you because they want to be needed because something's missing in them. And they get a false sense of being somebody because they think they meet a need because they're so important. You're in a fallen state where you need someone for something. And so I saw, and moving a little fast, I saw some homeless people over there the other day, and they were asking me for some money. I said, no, I'm not giving you any money. Are you crazy? And they shouldn't even be giving you no free living quarters and stuff like that. And they're like, why not? I'm homeless. I deserve help because I'm homeless. I said, no, you don't. You don't deserve a dime. You don't deserve money. You don't deserve a free house. It's your fault that you're this way. It's not I'm gonna pay you because you're down and out. We shouldn't be feeding you because you're not gonna get better, you're gonna get worse. And I realized that even homeless people are vain because they have identified with being homeless, and now they think we owe them something. Isn't that a mess? Anybody ever thought about that before with a homeless person? They think you owe them something. They really believe it too. And the government said, yeah, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna feed you. We're gonna house you. We're gonna do this and that for you. Human nature is evil, and in human nature there is no love. Everything they do is selfish. And I'm encouraging you to watch yourself so you can see that about yourself. As someone was saying that they didn't realize how evil they were. All anger is pure evil, and it goes deep. When I say that all thoughts are lies all the time, I had no idea the depths of what I was saying. If you want to know how wicked you are, let the ego, face the ego. Watch yourself die. the ego dies. And it goes down into the deep of darkness, into hell. Ain't nobody, anyone that has anger is evil. And they try to get something from you, and if you don't do it their way, if you don't satisfy them, they'll destroy you. They'll try to. But they can only destroy you if you have an impression of yourself. If you have no impression of yourself, can nobody hurt you. If you don't think you're wonderful, if you know that you are not your thoughts. A thought is just a thought. That's all it is. And thoughts feed off of thoughts. You ask a person, who are you? They'll say, well, I'm wonderful. I'm a lawyer. I went to Harvard. I went to this school. I work at this place. All they're doing is getting thoughts about themselves, but that's not who they are. It doesn't make them that way simply because they get thoughts about it. You are not your thought. A thought is just a thought. When this young lady was saying that she, in essence, tried to hide away from people because of this impression, it was just a thought. It wasn't who she was at all, ever. But the thought, as long as you stay in this little circle that you're in your own mind, all you're gonna ever have are thoughts and emotions. And emotions are evil. Emotions come from the devil. Emotions of fear, emotions of doubt, of worry, of loneliness, suicidal thought. So many people committed suicide from a thought. It's from a thought. And they have an impression of themselves, oh, the world needs to make me happy. My parents need to make me happy. I need to feel good. That's a thought. Even about God, when you pray to God and if he doesn't give you what you ask for, you're like, where is God? He didn't answer my prayer. Those are just thoughts. It's just a thought. You are not your thought. You are not your body. You are a spirit. When Christ was a spirit, he wasn't a body. He was a spirit. He was the truth. And that same spirit lives in us. We are not our bodies. We are a spirit. But if you identify with the body, you're going to get beat up. Because now you got to protect the body. You are not your experiences. Those are things just happen as a result of believing thoughts and identifying with the experiences. And when you go to Disneyland, you feel good, right? When you go down in a bomb area, you feel bad. Or someone says something about you, you feel bad. It's just thoughts. If you didn't believe the thoughts, you would never have a problem. Thoughts and emotions and experiences are not you. They never have been, and they never will be. And you don't have to have pain to wake up. You don't have to have pain. Like with the children here now, with their parents are waking up, right? And if the parents were to be of the light, the kids would never know pain. They will only know the light. And so they wouldn't have to need the pain to wake up. It's just our parents are not of the light. And the world is not of the light. The world is totally of darkness. There's nothing in the world but darkness. And that's why when we wake up, we become the light of the world. We come into the light. We are the light of the world. We're no longer in the darkness. Human nature is evil. And they all have a vain identity. And you're right about vanity in what I've heard today. That's vanity too. But real, true vanity, because that vanity you talked about, every human being go through that in the fallen state. But real vanity is when you think you can change your own life. When you think you could do it yourself. I don't need God, I can do it myself. Even though you don't say, I don't need God. You think you could fix your own life, you're vain. That's vanity. But when you realize I can't fix it and give up completely, vain is gone. Because you're not playing God. You know that there's nothing you can do about it. And most people, if not all, think that they can repair their own lives. They think they can fix themselves. And they're always looking for something to fix themselves. And it go like, oh, I'm miserable, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm this or that. And then they start looking for ways to repair themselves, right? How can I fix myself? And you start trying to fix yourself, but it's enough to know that you need help, but don't look for the help. Don't try to fix it. And God will help you. Because you're not playing God. You're not a vain person. Accept it, meaning see what it is, but don't try to fix it. If you're lonely, be lonely. If you're sad, be sad. And the help will come. But if you're sad and now you gotta say, oh, I'm gonna go to a party so I can feel better. As soon as the party over, you're still miserable. Or I'm this or that. I need a new job. I feel better if I were doing a different kind of a job. This is not my job, right? That's not going to satisfy you because as soon as you get the new job, you now feel, oh, this is boring. Because the misery is still there. When you try to repair yourself, you're a vain person. To even think that you can repair yourself is vanity. That's true vanity. All this other stuff is vain too, right? But that's what happens in the fallen state. But you can't repair your life. You have to completely let go. The government can't. Some people get mad at me because I say, well, one of the mistakes that the blacks made is that they turned their lives over to the government. They turned it over to the false leaders. Because blacks used to be in control of their own lives. They were individuals. They had families. They worked. They saved money. They bought land. I grew up like that. But they turned it over to the government, and now the government is the daddy, and they're having people, they're helping them to believe that the government is the big thing. And the only thing that's happening is the government getting bigger, and we're getting worse. The government ain't helping us. The government is not helping you when they say, I'm going to use tax dollars to build homes for homeless people. First of all, you're taking my money, and I didn't volunteer for it. And secondly, you're keeping the people down that you pretend you're trying to help. They know they're not helping those people. It just feels good to their ego to stand in front of a camera and say, I did this. I did this for the homeless. And the emotional people go, yeah, you helped the homeless. Here's a trophy. But the government don't love you, just like you don't love one another. The government is you. The same spirit that dwells in you dwells in the people in the government. And the world is wicked. But you can literally be in this world and overcome it because it's not going to just let you go, but you can overcome it and have perfect peace. You can hear all this bad stuff in the news that seem bad and have perfect peace. And the last thing is about cutting off the part. I used to think the same thing. You know, I need to be cared about this. But I can cut off all the body parts. I don't care. It ain't my body part. You know what I mean? If that person decides they want their body part taken off, or if those parents allowing their children's body part to be, they the one got the stuff in the consequence, not me. They don't care, why should I? And for us signing the bills, I know what you mean by that. Let's say that we want to be protecting the family, right? I'll go down and I'll sign the bill, I'm for it, but if it passed, fine. If it doesn't, fine. I'm still going to stay on that straight and narrow path. So if they don't respect marriage or the family, I do. You know, I don't need a bill to do that. But it'd be nice if they had a bill. People don't obey the bills anyway. Look how many bills we've passed. And I remember when we fought years ago, 30 years ago now, to get the government to shut down the borders. And we only had a few illegals in. We're like, we need to shut the borders down. So we protest, we fought, and now it's worse off today than before. And the people that stood up for it are dead. And it's worse. The bills were passed, but it's worse. Isn't that amazing? There's a right way to fight. Now, I'm not telling you to not stand up for it, but don't identify with it. Don't identify, and don't make a decision about right or wrong. Is it right to cut off the body part, or is it wrong? Just know you're not going to let your body part be cut off, because we can't make decisions for other people. We really can't make a decision for ourselves. In our entire life, we have never made a decision. You have never made a bad decision or a wrong decision. Isn't that amazing? You can't make a decision. It's impossible to make a decision. We're not in charge of anything. It's whatever spirit you serve, or your abnormal nature or normal nature. And those natures make the decisions for us. We don't make decisions. Isn't that amazing?